At first, this might just look like a mother cat spending time with her kitten. Playing, grooming, staying close. But something much more important is happening here. During the first weeks of life, kittens learn almost everything from their mother. Not through lessons, not through commands, but through hundreds of tiny interactions like these. Every time the mother cat grooms her kitten, she's doing more than keeping its fur clean. Grooming helps strengthen the bond between them. It helps the kitten feel safe, comfortable, protected. In the wild, a kitten's survival depends heavily on staying close to its mother. So from the very beginning, their brains are wired to seek comfort from her presence. That's one reason you'll often see young kittens following their mother everywhere. To them, she's more than a parent. She's safety. She's warmth. She's familiarity. And if you watch closely, you'll notice how patient she is. Even when the kitten gets distracted. Even when it becomes playful. Or decides that absolutely everything is worth investigating. The mother keeps guiding, watching, correcting, teaching. Most of it happens so quietly that we barely notice. But this is actually one of the most important stages of a cat's life. Because right now, the kitten is learning what safety feels like. And that lesson will influence how it interacts with the world later on. The interesting part is that cats don't teach the way humans do. They teach through repetition, through routine, through example. Every grooming session, every playful interaction, every moment spent together is teaching something. Even if the kitten doesn't realize it yet. And honestly, that's part of what makes moments like these so fascinating. We're not just watching a mother and her kitten. We're watching the very beginning of how a young cat learns to become a cat. As the kittens grow a little older, something interesting begins to happen. They start paying attention to more than just their mother. Now they're learning from each other too. At first, these playful interactions might look completely random. A tiny pounce, a playful chase, a gentle paw reaching out. But underneath all that energy, something important is developing: trust. For young kittens, trust isn't built through words, it's built through experience. Every time a sibling approaches without causing harm, trust grows. Every time they play, wrestle, and return for another round, trust grows a little more. And that's why these early interactions matter so much. The kittens are learning that companionship can be safe, that being close to another cat doesn't always mean competition. Sometimes it means comfort. Sometimes it means friendship. And sometimes it simply means having someone to explore the world with. Watch how naturally they move around one another. There's no instruction manual, no lesson plan. Yet little by little, they're learning social skills that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. What happens if another cat gets too close? How rough is too rough during play? When should they approach? When should they back away? These are things kittens slowly discover through thousands of small interactions. And every day, they become a little better at understanding each other. Meanwhile, their mother continues to play an important role. Even when she's resting nearby, she's still part of the lesson. Her presence creates a safe environment where exploration can happen. A safe base. A place to return to whenever things feel uncertain. And then there's the grooming, one of the most powerful forms of communication in the feline world. When a mother cat grooms her kittens, she's doing more than cleaning fur. She's reinforcing connection, strengthening bonds, and reminding them that they're part of something bigger than themselves. What's fascinating is that the kittens often begin copying this behavior, long before they fully understand why. A quick lick, a gentle nuzzle, a small act of care. Because that's what they've been watching since the day they were born. Animals are incredible observers, and kittens may be some of the best. They watch, they imitate, and eventually, they become what they've been seeing all along. So, while this may look like a simple family moment, a mother cat and her kittens spending time together, it's actually something much bigger. It's the foundation of trust, built one tiny interaction at a time. Another day, another quiet moment between a mother cat and her kitten. And while it may look very similar to yesterday, the kitten is still learning. Every day spent with its mother adds another layer of experience, another layer of confidence, another layer of understanding. Watch how naturally the kitten stays close. Not because it has to, but because being near its mother has become familiar, and familiarity creates comfort. When the mother begins grooming, she's doing something the kitten has experienced countless times before. Yet each grooming session continues to reinforce the same message. You're safe. You're cared for. You're not alone. For young animals, these repeated moments help create a sense of stability, a predictable world. And that's incredibly important during early development. Even the playful moments have meaning. The kitten is learning how to interact, how to respond, how to read another cat's behavior, all while simply enjoying time with its mother. And perhaps that's what makes moments like these so special. Nothing dramatic is happening, no big lesson, no major milestone. Just a mother and her kitten spending time together. Yet these ordinary moments are quietly helping shape the cat this kitten will eventually become. And perhaps the most remarkable part is that neither of them knows this moment is important. The mother isn't trying to create a lesson. The kitten isn't trying to learn one. They're simply doing what cats have done for generations. Spending time together, building trust, strengthening a bond that started the day the kitten was born. And years from now, long after this kitten has grown up, the effects of moments like these may still remain. Hidden inside the confidence, habits, and instincts it's carrying into the world. Because sometimes the smallest moments leave the biggest impressions. And as that confidence continues to grow, the kitten becomes a little more willing to venture farther from its mother's side. Not because the bond is weakening, but because it's working. Something has changed. Not long ago, these kittens depended on their mother for almost everything. They stayed close, followed her constantly, and looked to her for comfort and reassurance. But now, if you watch carefully, the mother cat is starting to step back. Not because she cares any less, but because her kittens are growing. Instead of leading every moment she's observing, watching quietly from nearby, allowing the kittens to interact with the world on their own. And that's an important part of being a mother, knowing when to guide and knowing when to give space. The kittens are beginning to make their own decisions now, playing with one another, learning from one another, even grooming each other from time to time. Behaviors that once came almost entirely from their mother are slowly becoming habits of their own. And that's exactly what she has been preparing them for. Every lesson about safety, every moment of trust, every grooming session, every playful interaction has been leading to this. A little more confidence, a little more independence, a little more curiosity about the world around them. You'll notice that even while the kittens are busy exploring and playing, the mother never stops paying attention. Her eyes follow them. Her ears stay alert. She's still protecting them, just from a slightly greater distance. Because growing up doesn't happen all at once. It happens one small step at a time. And today, these kittens seem ready for another one. In many ways, this is one of the quietest stages of kittenhood. There's less direct teaching, less constant supervision, and more observation. The mother has already spent weeks building a foundation. Now she's watching to see what her kittens do with it. And judging by the way they play, interact, and care for one another, it looks like they're learning exactly what she hoped they would. Sometimes the best teaching happens when the teacher simply watches. For a moment, everything becomes a little quieter. No chasing, no wrestling, no big adventures. Just 4 kittens sitting together, watching. And while it might not look very exciting, moments like these are surprisingly important. Because learning doesn't only happen when kittens are moving. Sometimes it happens when they're simply paying attention. At this age, the world is still full of new sights, sounds, and experiences. Every unfamiliar noise, every movement nearby, every shadow passing through the room becomes information, and kittens are constantly collecting it. If you've ever wondered why kittens sometimes stop and stare at absolutely nothing, there's a good chance they're noticing something we missed. A distant sound, a tiny movement, or simply trying to understand a new part of their environment. To us, it may seem like they're doing very little, but their brains are busy processing everything around them. Watch how alert they are, the way their eyes move, the way their ears shift toward different sounds, even while sitting still. They're learning, and that's one of the most overlooked parts of growing up. Not every lesson comes from action. Some lessons come from observation, because before an animal understands the world, it first has to watch it. And perhaps that's why moments like these feel so peaceful. There's no rush, no pressure, just curiosity quietly doing its work. 4 tiny kittens, sitting together, taking in a world that's still brand new to them. At some point, something remarkable begins to happen. The kittens stop learning only from their mother and start learning from each other. If you watch closely, you'll notice that many of the behaviors their mother once showed them are now being repeated between siblings. The grooming, the gentle interactions, even the way they communicate during play. What began as lessons from their mother are slowly becoming habits of their own. Play is a perfect example. To us, it might look like simple fun. A quick chase, a playful pounce, a surprise attack from behind. But for kittens, play is often practice. Practice for balance, practice for coordination, practice for understanding social boundaries. Every playful interaction teaches something new. Sometimes it's about confidence, sometimes it's about patience, and sometimes it's simply learning how to get along with others. Watch how naturally they take turns. One kitten chases, another responds. Then the roles switch. Without realizing it, they're developing social skills they'll continue using throughout their lives. And then there's the grooming, a behavior they first experienced from their mother. Now they're beginning to share it with one another. A quick lick, a moment of affection, a small act of trust. These tiny interactions help strengthen the bond between siblings, and they serve as a reminder that growing up doesn't happen alone. Even as independence increases, connection still matters. Perhaps that's why sibling relationships can be so important during kittenhood. If you've been watching closely, this moment might feel a little different. For the first time, the kitten is completely on its own. No siblings nearby, no mother stepping in. Just a young cat exploring the world with growing confidence. And that's exactly what all those earlier lessons were leading toward. The safety, the trust, the comfort, the curiosity. Every moment spent with its mother helped prepare for this, because the goal was never for the kitten to stay dependent forever. The goal was to help it become confident enough to stand on its own. And look at the difference now. The hesitation that once existed is slowly disappearing. The kitten moves with more purpose, more confidence, more curiosity. Things that once seemed unfamiliar are now invitations to explore. A new object, a new space, a new experience. Instead of waiting for reassurance, the kitten investigates for itself. That's one of the clearest signs of healthy development. Not fearlessness, but confidence. The confidence to try, to learn, to make mistakes, and keep going. What's remarkable is that this transformation didn't happen in a single day. It happened through hundreds of tiny moments. Moments that may have looked ordinary at the time. A grooming session, a playful chase, a comforting nap beside its mother. Small experiences that slowly became life lessons. And now, those lessons are becoming part of who this kitten is.